Meghan Markle was able to avoid royal questions in Cringe Chat, fans say. Meghan Markle recently appeared on Ellen DeGeneres' US chat show, performing a bizarre skit, and largely avoiding talk of her former royal life, preferring to share details of her old acting career. Royal fans claim to have spotted Ellen DeGeneres holding back on the type of questions she asked Meghan Markle during her recent appearance. The ex-royal was interviewed by Ellen on her US chat show recently, sharing stories of her acting life before meeting Prince Harry, as well as taking part in a comedy skit where she guzzled baby milk in public. The chat was Meghan's first solo interview since the infamously explosive interview with Oprah Winfrey, which was broadcast in March. During that appearance, Meghan and Harry had made a number of allegations against the firm, including that one unnamed royal had commented on the color of their son Archie's skin. And, reflecting on Meghan's most recent interview with Ellen on the Royally Obsessed podcast, host Rachel Bowie admitted that she found the pranks on unsuspecting members of the public cringy, but suggested that Meghan was a great sport. The keen royal watchers then delved deeper into how the interview compared with the Duchess' previous public appearance, with Roberta Fiore observing that the Ellen show antics felt like such a departure from the Oprah interview. There were no questions about that interview, which I think Ellen has got a lot of criticism for. There were no questions about the lawsuit, which is very much in the headlines right now, Roberta suggested. There were no questions about Harry and William's relationship, which I don't think she would have touched on. Just her royal past in general, it seemed like there were major negotiations about what she would be able to ask. The fans then compared the interview with Prince Harry's appearance on James Corden's show in February this year. In a change of theme, the duo acknowledged that while the prince's chat with the British talk show host touched on his royal past, these details were mostly absent during Meghan's interview with Ellen. This, they claimed, is evidence that the former actress is moving back towards her previous professional occupation, and away from royal associations. I felt like that was also a choice where Meghan's moving on from that, and she doesn't always have to be serious, Rachel continued. Roberta agreed, adding, the through line to this interview for me was that it was so much about her pre-royal life, and that feels like a new chapter. It feels like she's rebranding herself to be more like Meghan, who she was before Harry, and it's definitely a choice. This comes as one royal commentator suggested that Meghan and Harry may switch focus to chat show appearances, instead of focusing on their other projects. And Rachel agreed that it is likely the public will now begin to see more of the couple, claiming, I think this was maybe a sign of what's to come too, she's going to show more of herself going forward. Why Prince Harry left Meghan Markle home alone on anniversary of engagement. On the day Meghan Markle and Prince Harry could have been celebrating their first engagement anniversary, the dad-to-be was working 6,400 miles away in Zambia. Prince Harry left Meghan Markle at home to toast their first engagement anniversary without him. Rather than celebrating the passing of 12 months since popping the question, the Duke traveled to another continent the day before, on November 26, 2018. Leaving Meghan, who was pregnant with Archie, in their then UK home came as a surprise given the special occasion, but duty called for the formerly working senior royal. Kensington Palace announced a week before the milestone that Harry was to be sent packing to Zambia on a 2-day trip at the request of the Foreign Office. Meghan was believed to have stayed put on British soil as a result of even the smallest threat of Zika virus that was posed by traveling to Zambia. Official word from the palace was that Meghan was never penned in for the trip, which came only a few weeks after the couple completed a tour of Oceania, Cosmopolitan reported. Insiders, however, suggested Zambia would have been another joint visit, were it not for the Zika virus risk areas on the country's borders. The infection can have a major impact on pregnant women, with their babies often born with smaller heads than normal. An insider told The Sun, as far as those on the ground in Zambia were concerned, both Meghan and Harry were going. But Meghan is exhausted and, understandably, expressed serious concerns about traveling to a country with even the smallest Zika threat. While the Duchess of Sussex was looking back on the moment she was asked to join the firm, Harry was busy shaking hands more than 6,000 miles away. The trip 3 years ago was organized to celebrate the UK's relationship with the southern African country, and involved the prince meeting Zambian military veterans, officials, social workers and young people. Harry was given a warm welcome with traditional dancers performing on his arrival the day before his anniversary date, the Metro reported. Before returning home to Meghan and their son-to-be, Harry attended an event put on by the Queen's Commonwealth Trust, visited Circus Zambia, which helps young people with careers, and stopped at Technology and Innovation Center, Bongo Hive. All the while Meghan reportedly had her mum, Doria Ragland, for company. With everything that has happened since, it is fair to presume royal duties are unlikely to split the couple on their 4th engagement anniversary. Prince Harry and Meghan just as in love but lack passion in other areas, says expert. Kinsey Schofield believes everything is strong at home between Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, but says something is still missing as they take on new business ventures. Prince Harry is just as in love with Meghan Markle as he was when he initially proposed to her, but the couple are yet to find passion career-wise, a royal expert has said. The Duke got down on one knee 4 years ago, on November 27, 2017, and the pair tied the knot a year later in a £36 million ceremony at Windsor Castle. The Sussexes stepped down from royal duties and left their UK base at Frogmore Cottage and moved to California last year. Ever since then, the pair have been at the center of controversy, but throughout all the trials and tribulations they still have a strong foundation, according to Kinsey Schofield, founder of Today for Daily. She says there are several acts of devotion that show the pair's love for each other, both in candid photos and in controversial interviews. On March 8 this year, Meghan and Harry filmed an explosive interview with Oprah Winfrey, addressing allegations of racism in the monarchy and sharing Meghan's battle with mental health. Kinsey told the Daily Star, "The Oprah Winfrey interview was very telling in the sense that Prince Harry grew up very resentful towards media, never airing dirty laundry, and super protective of his privacy. The sit-down felt like an exception that Harry was making to appease his wife." Harry and Meghan welcomed their first child Archie in 2019, followed by daughter Lilibet in June this year. And Kinsey believes the prince looked sincerely content in the photo they released to announce the couple's second pregnancy. She added, "It is clearly Harry and Meghan against the world. Becoming parents have bonded them tremendously. They are fiercely protective of their family and are trying to navigate a public versus private life." In more recent months, the pair took the plunge and made their first public debut in New York in September, where they visited the 9/11 Memorial and One World Trade Center. During both of their recent trips to New York, he clutches her hand like his life depends on it, the expert said. They are both very physically affectionate towards each other in public. "It is very sweet." She went on to highlight Harry's first interview on American television after his royal exit, which was on The Late Late Show with James Corden. "I thought the James Corden interview was a great reflection of him getting settled in the States and finding happiness. He was funny and free," she added. But despite this, the expert believes the Duke and Duchess are still trying to find their footing in America. Reflecting back to the Oprah interview, she said, "The Sussexes had an advantage in the States because not everyone follows the royal family closely. The royals, unable to retaliate due to protocol, could not fight each accusation in the court of public opinion, so Americans assumed silence meant guilt and sided with the Sussexes. But the couple didn't become such polarizing figures in the States until they used an appearance on Time 100's TV special to endorse presidential nominee Joe Biden. That is when support for the Sussexes became split down party lines." Kinsey went on to say the Duke and Duchess have since explored several career opportunities, but remain unfulfilled. The pair have launched business ventures, including a deal with Netflix, have taken part in podcasts, and Meghan even released a children's book. She added, "They are united as a family, and I believe things are strong at home, but professionally, we know that they both are looking for opportunities that they are passionate about, and that gives them purpose." But she believes that Meghan really wants a place within the Democratic Party. "Meghan is very ambitious and always looking for the next opportunity," she added. "I don't necessarily think that she wants to be president, but I do think she might aspire to be someone like Nancy Pelosi or AOC. Meghan Mountbatten, Windsor 2024? We shall see.